Shir sponsor Lui Nishmas Ami Yaakov Sholem in Lev Sitzchok. We're holding in Bava Kamo Daf Tzadik Zayin. We reached yesterday. We at the end up early, so we got the two dots in the middle of Tzavon base. I mean, in the middle, say the last third, the last quarter of the Tzavon base, and there we're going to start from. So the word says the following: By avodim, he says, take the avodim. Why? What about shinui? Shinui ain't a koine. Why not? So as the Gemara mentioned earlier, the reason according to Rameir avodim not koine, because avodim has a din of a karka. By karka, the shinui doesn't work.
Now you should have mission. There's a different
Tzadik Bava base and the two dots at the bottom.
There's two different shunas. The one mentioned earlier is a shina they do a mice and shina not.
Yeah. So by karka, no shina works.
Or it's in a car. Or it's a shina memela. You're not.
No, but the one wanted to say there's a shina that ain't choice. If you should shina choice, it doesn't work.
It's a shina choice that you did. If it's nothing.
No, that doesn't matter. The way I say
it just happened to happen.
No,
when you're
the point. Just to explain, the point is that whatever works by vitality, whatever you hold, by avodim does not work. The same thing. Why? Because the karka. If one hold, it does.
Well, it's like karka.
So when the karka goes to Rameir. So Muhammad Chayim Avdim Muhammad Rav Aluch Kerameir. He passed like Rameir. So more real like that be. For Rav Shavik Rabbanim Avd Kerameir, he left Rabbanim and like Kerameir. Am Mishud the Bryce Seif Chatanya. So I tell you why, because the Bryce says the opposite, and in the Bryce it says the Rabbanim were the ones who said that Avodim were like a karka, not Rameir. So he passed like Rabbanim. So when Rav Shavik Mastisi Avod Kebryce, he left the Mishnah and like a Bryce. The Mishnah says the otherwise. Rav Mastisi now Meib Chatanya. He held his gears to the Mishnah was the opposite. So my time at the Rav, the Afik Mastisi became Bryce. So what's the reason? The Rav, in other words, Rav changed the Mishnah as well. Why did Rav change the Mishnah? Because the Bryce is the opposite. So why does he change the Mishnah against the Bryce? Other Rav, Nefachal Bryce come in the Mastisi and change the Bryce from the Mishnah. I'm Rav now Mastisi Ipradnyo. Rav originally had the Mishnah opposite. That's answer number one. He never had it the way we have it. Yeah, you're right. Mishnah against Bryce, Mishnah trumps. But if you have Mishnah against two Bryces, then the Bryces jump. So what's the two Bryces? One Bryce we just said before that says Rameir is the one who says that you do have Shina Ba'avodim. And Rabbanan the one who say the otherwise. What's another Bryce like that? The Tanya, Amachli Parah B'chamor. This is something we learned already or we mentioned already before. Mentioned the other Masechtas. So someone who's machlif par b'chamor, he's switching a par b'chamor, he does achlafa. So we don't know, he's not doing a meshicha, he's doing achlafa. How are you doing achlafa? One pulls the para, or one pulls the donkey, and says, wherever the para is will be yours. Now the problem is, the para died. I don't know when the para died. The para died before he bought it or after he bought it. He wasn't there. The Yoldo, or she gave birth. She gave birth, we don't know when he gave birth. Someone sold the shivcha, which you could buy with money, and now he comes and have birth. So one says, I know it was Bishusi. And the other one says, I'm not sure. Why is it Zoichet? The koine? Because he has Bar Vishah, Bar Adif. He says, I know.
Why don't you just look at what he sold it for? Did he buy a shivcha that's muberis?
No, he bought a shivcha who's muberis. The shaila is that she gave birth before and after.
Did he pay for a shivcha?
Oh, so that's a good. When they went to Dini Halachas, what happens when we go into the sugi over there? That's not the sugi here. Is we're talking about that they had in mind that if she gave birth before, it would size. That's part of the deal. Okay. If they both don't know, so what then what? You just split it. Each one says it happened in my rishus, right? Meaning each one says kvaday, not sofik. One says no, I know for sure it's mine. One says no, I know for sure it's mine.
Why isn't it the Muslim the one somebody has it? So
no, nobody has it because we don't know where it was.
Oh, you mean we have no idea what?
No idea. Now we talk about, let's say he says rishus, but he says vaday. Then you do have an issue. Why? Because there, the one says I own the cow and the vlad. The other one says you own the cow but not the vlad. So that's called what? Moediv mikzas. I agree with you about the cow, not with the vlad. So therefore, Yeshava moicher shebishus yoldo. So the seller who agrees that the cow is sold, but he's arguing regarding the vlad, he needs to do a shvuah. Lefish kol nishboyin shebator. Always shvur. The rule is nishboyin v'lo mishalmim. That's you have to do shvur and you don't pay.
What was the mocher saying?
Mocher says by me it was born. It was born. In other words, it was born before I sold it. So he does a shvur. He does a shvur to keep it, and he doesn't pay. That's Rabbi Yeshua. You don't do shvur on avodim. Why not? You're a karka. So what do you see? You see clearly that what? The Rameir is the one who holds that avodim has a din of a metaltalim. And Rabbanah is the one who's a karka. That's opposite of our Mishnah. So you have two brides that say like our Mishnah. So the why is Rabbi saying Allah is like a mayor? He should say Allah is like a ban because he holds Rabbanah is the one who's saying it. So according to your girsa that you hold Rameir is the one who said Pascha Rameir, but the reason Pascha Rameir because I hold Zayir Rameir, all it is Rabbanah. Okay. So if the Gemara that's exactly without on top. You want to tell me the Rav holds that a Eved has a din of a karka. And that's what he passed like a bunny? Someone went and he grabbed the slave of his friend. Right? So he goes, he grabs the slave, and he makes him do work for him. Now what? Potter. He doesn't have to pay. So one understands why is he potter? Because it's not b'shus. Right? So it's basically he's like a shvach that he was mishbiach b'shus a ganav. If the ganav takes something as a shbiach, who keeps it? He keeps the shvach. So you say, I took away the evidence, I have to give it back to you. But the shvach is by me.
You don't have to pay for the rent?
No. We'll see. The Gemara's going to get to the rent in a second. But right now, the Gemara looks at it. You're right. You're asking a good question. But let's leave that a second aside. Right now, the Gemara says it's a shvach, a bishbiach. Any knevo, we learned earlier, you take the person's gaslam, the shvach, he takes for himself. So he says, also here, the shvach should be by me. Why are you saying the shvach goes to the... Why? That's why he's potter. So if you hold the karka, it's still considered to be in the rishus of the owner. So you should go to him. So we're talking about no, he didn't work him when the owner works him. He took him in the middle of sleep. Or he took him on his vacation day. The owner's not losing anything.
Sure he is.
Why?
Because of the fact that he's time off and he's still working, it makes him
okay.
feel good.
So let's see. The goal is the opposite story than the one you said. Very good. Someone who lives, we learned it earlier in the Masechta. Someone who lives in the chutz of his friend without his permission, he has to pay him rent. You don't have to pay him unless, as we learned earlier in Daf Yud Zayin, unless it's a rental property. So he says here the guy's not working with him, so he doesn't care. Yeah, exactly. So the Gemara there brought two svars why he's happy that someone's living in the house. It's not enough to live in someone's house. There is supposed to be a reason when the guy's happy. Either because based on Misa Yosef, meaning when someone's living in the house, someone's taking care of the house. The house was deserted, gets ruined. Or because it's a more esoteric idea. There's a mazi called Sho'eyo, and when the house is empty, it becomes haunted. So you want people to live there to make sure it's fixed. So that's really the question. It's really, he's not happy. His slave works. He wants his slave to rest. So he's happy. He doesn't want his slave to get used to being lazy. A person is on vacation for too long, he doesn't care to work.
He's giving him the time off. He has the option.
He gets that, I know.
So he's giving it
But he doesn't have much work for him to do. He did what he did. He needs some peace and quiet from him. He's very happy someone else does it.
Well,
so
he's happy. No, that's different. Suli's saying is he's not happy.
Right, so the Gemara says he is. The Gemara says the story that he is. Now, comes out that what? What is the Gemara saying? The Gemara saying you can hold that Eved is a mekarka, but you don't pay him because he's not losing anything. So the house of Rabbi Yosef Bar Chama, there were people that hold the money. So as a call a penalty, they would go take these avodim, the avodim of these people, and make them work. Only Rabbi Bray, my time over with Marachi. Why are you doing that? Only Dorav Nachman Abdanun Karsei Loishavi. He says the reason is because he's not worth a lot, right? He's not worth a lot, so I'm not really benefiting from it. Says the Gemara, you know what? When we said that Eved is not worth much, that's only an Eved like Daru. That's his Eved. The Mark is Beikuvi, because he dances in the bars. It doesn't do much. But Kula Avdim, most slaves are working. You're taking away their job. He said, but I learned that it's okay to work with the Eved. So that's what I'm doing. It's like a penalty. I'm taking the Eved, then it's fine. So it says, because the Surah we just said that he's happy for him to work. That's why he doesn't owe you money. But here the problem is, it looks like ribbis. They owe you money, you take it there and you work with them more. So even though you're right, they're really not taking any money from them, but it doesn't look right. It looks like ribbis. We learned earlier, someone who lives a free rent by someone else's house, doesn't have to pay him, the guy doesn't lose money. He'll vow with if you lend him money, he can't go live in his chutzner. Why? Because it looks like ribbis. So that's why that's a problem. So it says he told him Omer Le Adribi. He says, you're right, I'm Choysebi. And very interesting, who's the one who's talking over here? Talking about who's talking to who? Rabba's talking to his father. Rabba, the son of Yisrael Bar Chamo, is talking to his father. And first we ask, how can a son give teichach to his father? He told his father, he didn't do right. He gave him excuses. Maybe I changed his mind. It says that a son should not give Moshe to his father. So it's a question of the first year. Some say that the father was nichli. He wanted the son to tell him. So that's why it's a little different. One very interesting nekudah that Tosfos brings is, and it's very neged to us. Tosfos discusses what favor can a borrower do to a lender. And Tosfos wants to say, at least according to one side, that a borrower can always give the lender what he's used to giving the lender. If the borrower and the lender are good friends, and he always gives him his, he lends him his, the coffee. He gives him some coffee. So he can continue doing it when he's borrowing for him. Because that's not a ribbis. It discusses that. Right? There's a big interesting discussion regarding when Negel Amaisa. It says that a person should not say thank you to the lender because it's like a ribbis dvarim. So the first we discuss what happens if that's what he does always. Like today, thank you has become that's a normal way of talking. According to this place, they should be fine. Says the more Itmar. Similar case, one went on and took the boat of his friend and made a malach with it. Meaning the owner has an option. He either takes how much it costs to rent it, or he takes whatever it's reduced in value. Shmuel says no. In other words, he has a choice, whatever is greater, the loss or the rent. Shmuel says he takes only the loss. It depends. If it's a rentable thing, so that means you could say the Aldas Sachi goes in there to rent it. So therefore he has to pay for the shvach. But if it's not an item that's being rented out, the guy obviously did not mean to rent it. And therefore the owner should not say, I own my rent. The both cases talk about it was meant to be rent. The question why the guy took it. Did he take it because he wants to rent it? Or he took it because his intention was to steal it? And you see he's doing it in a way of gazlanus. Why? Because a gazlan is mashak just exam. That's just so before. Continues the Gemara, it says, Gozlan must be a v'nizdak, someone stole a coin and it cracked. And then we learned in the Mishnah the difference between hezek, which is nikar, and hezek she'eino nikar. If it got cracked, then you have to pay back. It's on the same coin. Nifsal, Pisal to Malchus. What nifsal means? That the king This will go back to what you mentioned yesterday. Nifsal Shlom Malchus, when the king said that this coin is not valuable anymore. If the king said this is not a coin, it's like as if it got cracked. Why? It's considered to be, as what Moses say in a moment, is something which is very clear. What does it mean, nifsal? It's possible in this country, this area, you could use it somewhere else. It's still valuable, but not as easy. If the Melech says it's possible, that's considered to be nifsal. When you have fruits that got ruined, that got spoiled. Yain means a wine that got spoiled. It's like the king prays the lid. We'll see in a moment the reason of the debate. There you pay like Shaz because of the Bishinu. Why is that Shinu? It's very simple, different. When I have a fruit which got spoiled, it thinks. It's very nikar. A coin which the king says can't use, it looks exactly the same. According to you that holds when the king says you can't use it, that's considered to be like it was cracked. What's the difference between that and in the case of Truma that got tummy? That's the same like the king says you can't use it. What's the difference? Here's a svar. And that may be what's truly what you meant yesterday. What does Minkar Zeka? Minkar Zeka means that you go. It says Rash, why is it Minkar Zeka? Because I want to use the coin. I go to the store. The guy says, "Do you have this coin?" Everybody gives him this coin. This is an old coin. You can't use it. So it is Nika. So basically, the Gemara brings you the svaris of coin. The coin that became pasul, mitzad echad, it looks exactly the same like you stole it. And that's the svar mandama that holds that you treat it like no shinu. The mandama that argues says no. If you can't use it here at all, so it's different than other coins. That's absurd. I don't care that the actual coin looks the same. I compare it to what you can use it in the market. Now, Mashas the machlekes here, and how do you understand the idea of a coin? Do I look at the actual item, like we spoke about yesterday, or you look at what your value is? Or it says, but he agrees that if you can use it somewhere else, so there is value to it, so then it's considered to be a shein. Someone lent money to somebody else on a coin, and it was nifsal. Nifsal matbea. So Rav says that's exactly the base.
What is using the coin as a cardin or use the coin?
No, he lent him on a coin. He said, "Here, I'll give you $100, so you have to pay him back $100." So the again, whatever is the currency of that time, because he gave him $100 value, I'll give him back $100 value. Shmuel says $100 doesn't work here, but it does work somewhere else. Going back to the more said, go use it over there. You don't have to use it over here in this place.
When you lend somebody money, you don't expect the same thing back.
You expect the same valuation
back.
It has a value. It has $100. Not here, but somewhere else, yes. Shmuel, somewhere else, good enough. Let's see. We'll build it up. Give him some more details. Shmuel's swear works. This guy always travels to Misha. If it doesn't go there, so then it doesn't work. In other words, it needs to be some association to that place. But Rashi says that look at the Loshu Rashi, second line of Rashi. Rashi says he lent him not coins, he lent him merchandise. If you gave him coins, you give him back coins. You gave me $100, you give back $100. But if you gave me merchandise, then you have to give me the valuation. Then this is a discussion. Okay? Tracy here argues along. Tracy is a big discussion over here. Let's stick it to Pasha B'Shat. Says the Gemara. So says the Gemara. You can do chilul on mois. Which chilul? Chilul ma'is shein. Chol Ma'aser Sheni means you take Ma'aser Sheni and you extract, you redeem with money. You don't do it with money that you can use. Ketzad. Hayala Mois Kuzbiois. He has Mois of Kuzbi. Rashi means Kuzbi is either a Bar Kochva or Kuzbiois is from the place called Kziv. I think a coin. Shalmis, he has what's called Jerusalem ones. Oishel Melachim Arishonim means old Jerusalem ones, older kings. Ein Michali. Hashla Chayim doing the Rishonim, but if it's new coins, but similar to the first ones, they are not so easily used. Mechalali. So you see, even though you can, he's not something to use it. We're talking about, it's very easy to travel place to place. And you can use the coin somewhere else, then you don't need to have any issue of using a different coin. Same way, like Yom HaShmuel, you want to tell them that Shmuel says when they do have war, it's a war zone, you can't go from place to place. How can he bring the coin to use it? It works like this. You're not supposed to use the other coin, the other currency when you travel. But nobody checks. If they find it by you, you'll be in trouble. But nobody checks. So therefore, that's considered to be, it's hard, but not so hard. It's usable. That's what Shmuel says. This coin is okay. Toshua, one reason, another right. You can't do mois that are here, but they are in Bava. I mean, the mois of Yerushalayim, but they're not here. Or if he does Bava and they're here. But if you do it, if the coins are in Bava, and he's writing down Bava, he can do it. The whole point is he's going to Yerushalayim. So he's doing Chilul on Mois, which is in Bava. Who cares? He's going to take it to Yerushalayim. Talk about in a case that there is a war, and you can't bring it from Bava to Yerushalayim. So what do you do in Bava and Bava? You could travel from Bava to Yerushalayim. You can't just do currency of Yerushalayim. Rashi says, and they check out. You go through the border, the customs are going to check for your coins. And if you have coins of a different country, you're dead. Then you're going to be in trouble. So you can't use these coins. These coins are worthless. If so why Bava and Bava is okay? Oh, if you're in Bava, if coins are Bava, have a different solution. Don't bring to Yerushalayim coins. Bring to Yerushalayim an animal. Says the Gemara that Tanyo there was a special takana that all coins should be able to be spent in Yerushalayim. There was a special takana you can use in Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim was international. I don't know, right? It was an international place. You can use all currencies. Depends. When Am Yisrael is in control in Eretz Yisrael, they can make the rules. And the rules is that you can use all coins. But if they are enough, so they can say they can be mad. In other words, Am Yisrael is in charge, they can make the rules. But if Am Yisrael is not in charge, the guy can say, we're not interested, our currency is going to Yerushalayim. So you may what is the Gemara saying? Shmuel is talking about a case you could bring to Yerushalayim, it is deliverable. It's a machlekes if that works that way or not, but if you can't bring it from place to place, Shmuel will agree that it's not. And if it's very easy to bring it from place to place, there'll be no machlekes. Shmuel is exact. It's only when it's a little bit difficult, but not too difficult. Continues the Gemara and says, "We mentioned B'yah Yerushalayim, so we say who it is. David v'Yerushalayim tzadechad v'Yerushalayim Yerkush b'tzadachim. On one side you have David Yerushalayim, on the other side you have Yerushalayim. Biskarov in Tehillim says, he brings a right. He says from here, why are you putting the same coin, David and Shloim and Yerushalayim? Because they're interrelated to each other. When we say the bracha, we say bracha of being in Yerushalayim, we mention Malchus Beis David together. Also David. Because the way Yerushalayim is in its fullest capacity is with Malchus Beis David. Malchus Beis David connects to Yerushalayim itself. Another coin. There's a coin called the coin of Avram Avinu. What is it? You have an old man and woman on one side, and the other side you have a bachur, you have a young people. What does it mean? Rashi brings over here that we're talking about. One side means Avram and Sarah, and the other side is Yitzchak and Rivka. Other Rishonim learn, we talk about Avram and Sarah. There's also Loshen Rashi somewhere else that became back young. So the question, well, what's the idea over here? The idea is that the currency of Avram Avinu is Avram Avinu showing to the world the idea that he could have children. He could have Yitzchak. They go back. But really, the whole coin of the world is a Kodesh Baruch. Now, the discussion here how to understand the Rishonim, the Pashup Shak was after the Rishonim, that you're not allowed to make a picture on a coin. It's a tzur. You're not make a tzur. So what does it mean? You have Zokim Eskeino and Dov Yishleimah. They have the words. It says the words Zokim Eskeino and Bachar Besula. They have the words of Dov Yishleimah. So the first already asked. So how do you, if this is Zokim Eskeino, how do you know which Zokim Eskeino is it? In Loshe Rashi, when it says Dov Yishleimah, if you look carefully, Rashi says Dov Yishleimah Kasu B'Tzad Echad. It's written. But Zokim Eskeino didn't say written. Some Farshim will learn. They have this learned in Rashi that Zokim Eskeino there was a picture. Hi, now I'll make a picture. It's only a full tzur, a partial tzur you could do. Okay, let's talk to Gemara. Bo minei. Bo minei rova me'av chizdo. Amal v'schaver al mebea v'osif olamah. Someone lent money on to his friend, and they made the coin bigger. It gives the coin the new coin, the new currency. Even if it's very, very large, like a dafio, like a sifter. Also very large of size. What do you mean? With this coin, the fruits are cheaper, meaning you can get more fruits for it. Right, so he's getting more for the coin than what he got originally. So that's ribbis. So we said you're right. We look. If because the coin changed and you can buy with this coin more. In other words, the currency was you had a small coin, you could have bought 10 fruits. Now they made a big coin, you could buy 20 fruits. So the coin is what's giving it to you. So therefore, you have to remove whatever is the extra and give him what you used to get. Well, that's a chesed mudalef. But if it wasn't have to do with the coin, yeah, the coin became larger. But really, change was the tara. Tara means the market, right? Meaning there was a lot of rain, and now you can buy with the same coin that used to be before 10. You can buy 20. That's like to be ribbis. It's the same value. See, you have to come and do the evaluation. So the more about kashvach leidin is. What do you mean? Well, the coin itself is a silver. And now it's greater. So he got more for his silver. Hello, they made that story with a similar coin. And they said 10, and they did 10 to 8. What does it mean? Look at Rashi. Rashi says, they went to the trader. So in other words, we say like this, and that's what Tritz explains over here. If it's for whatever was 10, for 8 of the second, you have 10 of the first, meaning it's a difference of 20%. So then you have to take less. But if it's less than 20%, so then you say then it's okay. That's like a little mechila. Right? Because that's considered to be that's going to be like a normal code. It's not considered to be ribbis. When it's substantial, it looks like ribbis. If it wasn't ribbis, it's really just what they made up. But because what does it look like ribbis when it's a substantial amount? When it's a small amount, that's a normal way of currency. So when it says up to 20%, Rashi brings you to another gear like Rashi. The way Rashi learns, we're talking about it was 10 to 8, he gave him 8, right? So he says if it would be 12 or 11 or 10 that goes at the 8, you give him the 8. But if it would be 9, you don't give him 8, you give him 9. If we change from 9 to 8, you give him 9. And Rabbi Chananel says the opposite. Till 10, and you will tell you push up in the matal malam. In other words, you're saying, until 10, it's going to be fine. From 10 on, it won't be fine. But anyway, the idea is that this 20% is the cutoff, and that's when you have to make sure not to have ribis. And this really is the more to the sugyas of Mitzia in Perek Ezu Neshech. We'll stop over here and continue from here tomorrow.